All right. Welcome back to our Wednesday chat about, in this particular chat, we're talking about motivated sellers, on market, off market distressed properties. I'm Todd Schneider, BWB team, brokered by EXP. So let's recap what we did last week. Number 10 on our list was the on-market fixer upper or as is type people where we were using Zillow and even doing some FSBO stuff with Zillow. Number 9 was tax defaults. You can get those lists. You actually get those lists for free if you go down to the county office and they'll give them to you. They might charge you if you want to print them, which if you do print, I wouldn't do it. Just take a thumb drive and download it if they'll allow you to, because sometimes they don't allow foreign devices into their computers. So you have to be careful of that. Or see if you can email it to yourself, download it on the computer, email it to yourself. There's other ways to get around that. Number 7 was vacant land. And everybody ignores vacant land. And like I said, I know several people that are doing well into 6 figures every year just doing vacant land. And I'm not talking hundreds of acres. I'm talking, lots, 2, 3 acres here or there that some developer wants to get their hands on, or some builder wants to get their hands on and develop, 5, 10, 15 properties in that little niche area. It is location, but at the same time, it's a good source of revenue. You're not going to make as much as you do on a 4, 5, $600,000 home, but it's still revenue coming in, and you develop those relationships. And once you know those people, then they're reaching out to you. Hey, got anything coming in? You see anything interesting? Give me a call. So anyway, now we're going to go to number 6 today, and that's code violations. Let me get my script because I have to script, otherwise I'll go off into the weeds. Everybody knows that about me. Almost every major metropolitan area has a codes violation database. Now, if you live in a more rural area, or like I say, I joke about Lipschitz, Indiana, those smaller communities typically don't have that database available to the public. But typically, like for example, we have a small community south of us called Columbus, Indiana. It's about 35 miles south. It does not have a code violation database, but if I walk into the office, the code violation office, they will print me a list if I ask for it. Okay. And most smaller communities that aren't too small, okay, will be able to do that for you. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Should have already had that ready to go. Get all that crap off of it. Okay, here is my Indianapolis code violation database. It is very difficult, believe it or not, to find. If you're going to find code violation databases in your area, code enforcement keywords, code enforcement violations, that type of thing. And it is in my case, it brought me to the county website, but then I had to hunt all over the place to find it. It was very difficult, believe it or not. And I'm a pretty good bloodhound, but I did find it, and of course I saved it. But here is my code enforcement database. Now, in this particular one, it goes back to 1924, which I don't know if I really believe that, but let's just bring it 01, 01, 2024. Okay, in the case type. Now, in my case, we have demolition, repair with no hearing, vacant board order. In other words, it's vacant and it was ordered to be boarded. Demo, if it's a demolition, the city is ordered to be demoed. It's that bad. Okay, and it might be a burnout. It could be anything. You never know until you go out and take a look. And there's, weed violations, and that's the most common one. Grass overgrown and somebody hasn't kept the yard. In our city, I think it's 8 inches. Anything above 8 inches, they can write you a ticket, and if you don't cut it within like 5 days, then they fine you. And if you keep doing it, then they'll have somebody cut it. And on a small lot of less than 10,000 square feet, they charge anywhere between $250 and $350 to cut it. So in any event, and then they lien the property. So anyway, let's just do vacant with no hearing. The repair, I'm sorry. No hearing. And let me move this up. This is bother. So let's search what we get. Here's, you can look through these and, let me just in violation. That's preview summary, Bentley Zionsville. Why Zionsville? Okay, they must be included in this database. It doesn't give me really anything. Same address. It's yeah, fees, no, does it have fees? Let's see. Okay, come on, today. It's not going to load. Or maybe there are no fees. In any event, maybe I should get a more aged property. Let's go back. Yeah, pick an older property because sometimes these things get filed. That was just a couple of days ago. So let's go back a couple of days and see if we can. Okay, early in the month. Let's see what this one is. Massachusetts. Oh, this is commercial property, but still doesn't say it. Sometimes the stuff that doesn't, the person who does this does not get every detail in there. I can get the partial information. And anyway, what I really wanted to show you is this. Oh, criminy. Search, sorry. I can download all of these results. Here it is in an Excel file, and most municipalities have this capability. The date that the code violation was filed, here's the address, enforcement, and in this case, so this is what I would take and skip trace. Okay. So I've got, I don't know how many on here. Let's scroll down and see what I have. Till January 1st, 368 for that particular repair with no hearing. And there's others in there, board orders, those types of things. In other words, you can go after these and download them, skip them, and reach out to them. Now here, I just see Iowa Street. I know exactly where that's at. There's a duplication. So, we have to understand some basics on how to use Excel to eliminate duplicates. Okay. And it's not that hard. There's formulas up at the top. Anyway, I don't want to go deep. Let's just focus on the code enforcement. This is a valuable source where you can reach out to these folks and ask them, hey, I see you got something going on with the property. I'd like to talk to you about that. Are you might interested in an offer or listing it, or just getting rid of the property because obviously it's costing you some money here. You're having some issues. Tone it down. Don't be aggressive about it, but at the same time, you want them to, you want to get a hold of them. You want to talk to them. They might want to sell that property. You have an advantage over a wholesale person who wants to get it dirt cheap. Hang on. Um, Gosh, I lost my train of thought. That's an important call. Um, Reach out to these folks, get a hold of them, and see if they want to get it listed. You have an advantage over a wholesaler because you are an agent. You can get it listed on a fair square market in the ML and get the most out of the property. A wholesaler is going to come in and try to knock that price down 30, 40, maybe even 50% to get a cash deal because then they take it and either wholesale it out themselves to another fixer flipper or whatever. But keep in mind, you also have that same capability to get a cash buyer for them. Okay. So your license, yes, you're when you put something in the MLS, needs love, it needs repairs. It's been boarded, for God's sakes. Okay. It's been boarded up because the windows have been knocked out. It's been vandalized or whatever the case might be, gutters falling down, whatever. So you're going to get more than a wholesaler for it. But again, what we talked about last week needs TLC. Okay. So the seller has the proper expectation that look, it's good property, but it needs a lot of work. So therefore, I'm going to put it in the ML, but you're not going to get top dollar for this. I want to knock it down 5%. I want to knock it down 10% of what fair market value would be to be under all the other people in your area. Okay. So people will start looking at it. Okay. Because it would be priced under. So then you have options. And then at that point, being in the MLS with a vast larger buyer pool, you have the opportunity to get more for that seller. And that's a larger commission for you as well. So anyway, all right, let's talk more here. I told you last week, I use bat skip tracing for my skipping. But there is a free uh, one out there. It's called Cyber Brown. Where to go? Here it is. Cyberbackgroundchecks.com. Somebody give me an address.
He can give you one of a property I was looking at.
Yeah,
55 Northwestern Way.
North, one word.
Yeah. Yep. Northwestern Way in Hapakon. So I'll spell that for you.
Spell it.
H-O-P
I'm sorry.
H-O-P-A-T.
Hang on.
That's it. Hapakon, the first one. Right there.
Here, New
Yep.
Jersey, the
Yep.
first one.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Here it gives a little bit about the house. It's not in depth, obviously. Some basic information. Last sale date was 1/11/24, according to this, but I don't rely on these particular programs for that. But look at here. We got a Karen Lynn grill, sorry. And we have a couple of possible telephone numbers right there. And that's free. And that's cyberbackgroundchecks.com. Now, how accurate are they? They're not as accurate as my bat skip, but for a free, and then like I said last week, I want to give you as many free resources as I can So you start with the free stuff, and then if there's really something hot you want to go after, then go ahead and go to batch skip and go ahead and run them or door knock. Okay, get out there and door knock. But this is a free tool. It costs you nothing. And I'm guessing that the hit rate is at least 50% or better. You know, like on this one here, we've got 3 different telephone numbers here. One of those you can probably get a hold of that person, probably 1 out of 6 times. Okay, or no, more than that, probably 6 out of 10. I'm sorry, 2/3, most likely. I've not run it just because I batch is about 97, 98% accurate. Okay. But it is a good tool. Cyberbackgroundchecks.com. If you Google it, don't. Okay. It comes back with all kinds of crazy stuff, at least on my searches. Type it in www.cyberbackgroundchecks.com and the site will come right up. Let's see. That's free. You can also use True People Search. I believe that one is free. But a lot, if you're going to use a paid service, like I said, batch skip trace, and there's another paid one. You can look up stuff with this is the realsupermarket.com, and I talked about that last week. Now that's a paid per transaction thing, but you can use that. But I want you to have as many free resources as available to you. So anyway, those lists are very good for finding people who possibly wouldn't want to sell their property. Most likely, if it's in this database and they do want to sell, it has some problems, you know, updating, gutters falling down, roofs, you know, really old, maybe some seeps, who knows, windows busted out, whatever. Okay. And they don't always have to be in a bad area. Okay, I watched this, and you can search by zip code, I believe, in here too. I think there may be an advanced search in here somewhere. Well, anyway, who cares? You can search by zip code. I know there is a way, I just don't have it in front of me right now. So I watch those particular zip codes for anything that pops up, and then I reach out. So, but it's a good list to find people to get listings. Okay, or find them cash offer if they, you know, if they just want it. I'm tired of it. People breaking into it. Give me a cash offer. Just get me out of this thing. Let me walk away. I'm tired of it. You're going to have that sometimes, but you have to reach out to them first. You have to call. You have to text. And if you can get their email, email them if they don't respond, or you knock on that door. Okay. All right, that's code violations, but they are a great, great resource for this sort of thing. Next, let's go to number, what is it, 6? I think it's 6. I'm sorry, probate and inherited properties. Now, years ago, I used to go down to the courthouse, and they have a basement, and actually, I think it's a 2-level basement, to be honest with you. But I used to go through probates, and all the documentation is filed, and yet all the stuff is down there. Some of it's paper, and they did have a database, so I could start looking through the databases at one point. But I had to sift through all of the probate files, because some people just get clothing and jewelry, cars, whatever. Well, they don't just have one database that says property, real property. Okay. So I had to sift through all that crap, write all this stuff down, and then try to come back. And back then it was white pages. Okay. It was online, but you use the white pages and look their telephone numbers up and call them. Okay. Well, now life is really much easier. So probates are good. Many people, they don't want to keep the home. They want to get it sold. But depending on where they are in the probate phase, Um, Sometimes it goes very quickly. Sometimes it moves a little slower, but they may not be even able to sell the property for like another month or two until they have the finalization of the probate and it's everything's released and properly documented and done. So, but reach out to them anyway, no matter where they are in the process, because they may say, "Yeah, I want to sell it. Start working. Yeah, I'll give you access. Take some photos. Get some people in here." Okay. They may not have the authority to have you list it, but you can at least tap the cash buyers in your area, reach out to them and see if they are interested in this property and make sure you lock them up first with something, some type of agreement that if you find a buyer, even if it's an agency agreement, if you bring a buyer to the table that they like the offer, you're going to get paid. Lock them up that way first, then go out and find these cash buyers because I'm going to tell you right now, they will, they'll mess you over. All right. Especially if they see it's about probate. Not all, but there's probably 30% or so that will try to take it from you and not pay you. Or the converse is what they're looking for, and you get a buyer agency agreement in front with them, either specifically or every 30 days, any property that I bring to you, regardless of address, blah 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 blah. You understand? So get them locked up one way or the other, buyer side, seller side, either way. Make sure you get the paperwork signed. Then start shopping it around because they will steal it. Okay. Anyway, um, but I used to do that. But here's PropWire. Same thing I showed you last week. Um, Hang on. It wants to make sure I'm a human. This is free, like we discussed last week. There's the probates right there, and you just put in your city, a specific address if you want. Most people obviously are going to search their city, and then download those lists, and then reach out. Skip them and reach out to them. But PropWire is a free service, and if you got a little bit of a budget, then you can do the flipfinder.ai. Flipfinder.ai. I think that one's 97 a month. The basic package gives you 5 zip codes that you can search in, and that's for anything, vacant homes, vacant lots, whatever. Um, if you pay for that, that's what it's going to cost you, and you get 5 zip codes. I do know that much, unless they might have upped it a little bit. But this is free. So use free first, always. Don't spend money unless you have to. I'm tight. So, and what I would do is I would be looking for someone who has, it's a little bit older of a home, 2,000 square foot or less, especially if you're looking for cash buyers to take it at somewhat of a discount to fix it and flip it, or to fix it up and then keep it in their rental portfolio. Either way, um, I keep it under 2,000 square feet because that's kind of the bread and butter. Now, your area may support 2,000 to 3,000 feet because that's common in your area. Okay, fine. Include up to 3,000 square feet. But on these cash buyers, once you get above a certain threshold, the repair costs, they're looking for a profit in a discounted property of some sort. So those rehab costs get exponentially higher. So they must make a higher return, not a higher return, but a higher price point. Um, so I keep it in that bread and butter range that they know what the expectations are, 3,000 square foot. I know I'm not going to spend over X dollars. I can make X dollars, etc. That type of thing. And then if you can't find um, SFRs, then you can kind of shift to or not condos, but townhomes first, and then to condos, and depending on your area. You like, for example, in Chicago, we cover an area that has a massive amount of condos, not so much townhomes, but a lot of condos. So if that's typical for the area, you may want to focus on that. It depends on your area. And let's see, I talked about the REO supermarket. The REO supermarket, you can look up stuff on US list, US list, leads list is another one you have to pay for, but it's also a good search tool to find these probate inherited. But like I said, don't get me wrong, I don't know how often this is updated. I know Jerry's, like I said, I know he's spending a ton of money on this, and I don't know the end game of what he's going to do with this. But he's spending a lot of money on data. So if it's here and it's free, use it. Okay. But probate and inherited are also good ones. One of the things that I did back probably when the crisis was kind of over and I was, REO was starting to decline. And then one thing I went after is I went after attorneys, actual probate attorneys. Most cities have attorney lists. You can figure out who probate attorneys are in your area. You can Google them. Many cities have the database of attorneys listed and what their specialties are if they have one. Most do. Okay, they specialize in this, that, or the other. Um, you can search them out and reach out to them because they're doing probates, and reach out to them, make a friend with them, and hey, you get anything coming in, let me know. I'll be happy to get it on the market, get it sold, or if uh, the inheritor wants to sell it, I could get it, quick, just get it off the books. I could find a cash buyer, move it quick for you. Reach out to them. Now, you've got to get past the gate, and the assistant is the gate. So it's always wise to make friends with them, have a relationship with them so you can get to the attorney. But that is a challenge some days. Sometimes what I did is I just Googled who they were, found out about them, and I skip traced them and call them on their cell phone. So, and got past the gate because there for a long time I was having trouble getting past the gate. So I just skip traced them and called their cell phone. All right. So anyway, okay. So that's it on probate and inherited, but it is a very good list. Now, let's move on to the next one, and that is vacant properties. And that is number 4 on our list. Oh, hang on. I just skipped one. It's the bonus list. All right. Let's go back. We'll do vacant properties in a minute. The bonus list. All right. You're not going to make as much money with this. Okay. You have to be licensed to do it. But what they call this is they call this reverse wholesaling. Okay. In your town, no matter where you are, you have wholesalers out there trying to secure these properties. I don't know how many emails a day that I get from these wholesalers with the properties that they've got under contract, and they want to get rid of them. What you can do is you can reach out to these wholesalers themselves and say, look, uh, give me your list, send me your list all the time, get me on your mailing list or get me on your text list. I get texts and emails from all these people. Okay. I've got cash buyers or I've got retail buyers that are looking in your specific area for properties. Send me your list and always ask for permission to send these out to your cash buyers or potential retail buyers or, regular buyers. Okay. Know what you're doing. All right. Negotiate with them. And what I would do, especially on cash buyers, is just get an agreement with them. If you find something they're looking for that they don't already know about with these wholesalers, don't change the price from the wholesaler. All right. Don't mark it down because you need to make $2,000 or $3,000. Okay. But keep it the same. Have the buyer pay it for you. You got to be licensed to do this, but have the buyer pay you two, maybe 3,000 if you bring one to the table. Okay, send these lists out all the time. Two emails a day. Sorry, I've got some sinus going on. The more emails you send, the more people you meet up with that are buyers. Okay, the more emails that are opened, you're going to get more responses, and they're eventually you'll turn into a resource for them. Okay, and that's what you want. It's just like developing somebody for a listing. Okay, you become the resource for them. You're guiding them through the home selling process, or the home buying process. You want to become that resource that they need, and then you do a good job. Next time they either want to buy or sell, then they're going to call you again. Okay, that obviously that's the goal. Okay, same principle. You want these investors, cash buyers reaching out to you saying, hey, you keep sending me all this stuff. Yeah, let's see what's going on. What else you got? They're calling you instead of you blasting them all the time. And that's what you want. Develop that relationship. But you can use any of these wholesalers. And the best way to find them is Google in your area. All right. Just Google wholesalers in your area. Right now, off the top of my head, I got Ben Buys Houses, New Western. They're everywhere. New Western is everywhere. They're primarily buying for portfolio, but they will sell any of their excess off to somebody else that can find a buyer. New Paradox is in my area. They'll pay 2.7% commission for any agent that brings them something. Okay. That sort of thing. Google it, get out there. Go to REIAs, real estate investment groups. They have meetup. I guarantee you, in your city, somewhere near you, there is a real estate meetup going on this month. Okay, just go talk to them. Don't come in, I'm real estate agent extraordinaire or anything like this. Go listen, meet them. They usually have some coffee or drinks and maybe a snack, and they have a guest speaker and that sort of thing. And they talk about whatever the topic of the day is. But meet up with these folks, talk to them. Hey, what are you looking for? You still on market? Well, yeah, if I can get the right price. Where are you looking for? What's your buy box? What's your buy box? You sound more intelligent when you ask them what their buy box is. Okay. Built after 1960, must have at least 3 beds, 1.5 baths. In my area, that's very common. Can't be over 2,000 square feet. I don't want anything over an acre or a half acre. Blah, 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 blah. They're going to give you their buy box. Write it down. Create a file on them. And then look for stuff like that. And when you find it, send it to them. Okay. But develop.
So Todd,
Yeah.
Todd, can you hear me?
Yes.
Um, if you go back to what you're saying, talk to wholesalers who have property. Could you give like maybe just like an example? So like we find a wholesaler who has a list of properties, and then we ask for the list, and then we try to find buyers for properties that are on list. Is that what you're saying, do?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not listed. These are off-market deals. These are wholesale deals. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you're not going to make a ton of money with this, but this is another avenue and these people want to sell these properties. How a wholesale deal works is same thing. You door knock, you call them, hey, I see you've got a Liz Pendens filed nicely, of course. You got a
Mm-hmm.
little financial trouble. I'd love to make an offer on your property if you would entertain one. Well, yeah, we've got some trouble, blah, 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 blah. They go out and meet with them, they look at the property, and they lock it up with a price, a contract. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then they take that contract because they've got an interest now. They put earnest money down in an escrow account. If they don't, then they don't have a deal. All right, they're cracking down on that big time. So they got an escrow. Then at that point, they start trying to sell that property. A lot of times they want to give you 30 days. Okay. Or sometimes they think the price is too high. They go back and renegotiate. As a wholesaler, you don't want to do that. You look bad doing that. But in any event, contract sale. They want to assign this contract to somebody else, okay, and make 5,000, 10,000. It depends on the area, 15, 20.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So then at that point, they want every outlet available to them to find a buyer that'll get the price they want. You have to get permission from them to do this. But get on their list. When they get this property locked up under contract, they already have people that they send it out to immediately. You want to be on that list, whether it's text, whether it's email, both. I get them all the time. Okay. I'm on those lists. Okay. Not everybody, but many of them. And then at that point, hopefully you can find a cash buyer for them and make maybe I'd just say $2,000 or $3,000, depends on the deal. You know, it's $1 million deal. That's a little bit different. Maybe you want some more. Okay. But most of these aren't, unless you're in California, and that's a different matter altogether. Well, 2-1 shack is, $700,000 in a crappy neighborhood, So anyway, but yes, you can make money this way. Is this one of the pillars that you want to pursue? Maybe not. All right, but this is one of the pillars you can pursue. And on top of that, if you work this particular style, you're going to become a resource for the buyers so that when you find stuff in other uh, mechanisms like probates, vacant land, whatever, um, you're going to become their resource. You're going to be sending them their stuff that you already have locked up, either with a listing or they want a cash offer and you wrote out the express offer form that they'll pay your 2.5%. You see what I mean? This is all about developing a network.
Right. I do
It's
see. I see what you're saying.
okay.
I see what you're saying.
In
Just
other
trying to figure
words,
out how to do it, how to actually do it.
well, like I said early on, that you're going to have, when we're done with this, we're going to have a discussion and you're going to have to pick a lane. Okay. You can't do all 10 or 11 of these that we're going to discuss. Okay. You just can't. Okay. You're going to have to pick one or two that you think you can do and do well and develop that network. This principle is still the same. You still want to talk to these wholesalers. They might bring a smoking hot deal for you that you can make some money on. Okay. Instead of 2 or 3, maybe you can get your buyer to pay 4, 5, or 6. Okay. But your buyer's happy. Keeping the buyer happy in this particular situation. All right. They're going to keep coming to you wanting more and more and more. Okay. And it's not going to be the same buyer. I'm talking about developing that network that when you send something out, you get responses like that. Yeah, I want to see it. Where's it at? Okay, give me the address. Boom. Don't give them the address right away. Just tell them what part of town it is or the city. It depends on where you're located. Okay. Or maybe the zip code. Give them the zip code. Okay. Or if you've already got it locked up with a listing agreement, or you've already locked it up with a express offer form, in other words, same thing is they're going to pay you 2.5%, 3%, whatever you decide. Okay. As long as you got to have it locked up, then put the address out there. But if you don't, you're just in negotiations, but you know it's going to be a hot property, then put just the city and the zip code. Anybody interested in this area? That type of thing. Anyway, but developing that network is super important. Now, if you are a traditional agent, this still will apply to you. Okay. Now I'm REO distress, off market, that type of thing. We're looking for cash buyers, boom, 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 move and sell quick. Okay. But traditional real estate people can also use these same techniques to find the same deals, only get more money out of them and make a larger commission. The principle's still the same. And you're going to, as a traditional agent, you're going to get, we call them turds. You're going to get a real turd every now and then that wants you to list their property. And oh my gosh, it's, 1970 build. They've never updated it. It's got original this, Formica, you know, whatever. It's got everything old, you know, the old orange shag carpet or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's, you understand. Never been updated. Trust me, I've walked into many. You know, you're not going to go full market value because it's just so dated. Okay. And so you're going to get those. And you can take those and move those on to some of these people. Like I say, in traditional and REO, if you have both of these at your disposal and you're running, you'll never starve. Because when the market does eventually start to tank a little bit, okay, REOs or distress is going to rise. And that's what a lot of people did during this last crisis is as the REO just kept coming and coming and the market was dropping like crazy. Okay. And the traditional people had to do REO if they were going to eat. Okay. So you can ride one wave down, ride one wave up, and do it all. It's all cyclical. The market cycles every 10 to 12 years. We're a little long in the tooth now for the 12-year cycle. So now it's time, and it's coming. Okay. So anyway, but that's what we call reverse wholesaling, and it is you can make money with. Now, is that going to be your lane? Maybe not, but it's there, and you can use that tool to make money. So let's move on. Oh, sure, 9:45. I was hoping to get further along today. Let's talk about probate and inherited. Okay. I started with my story, and it's true. I used to go through all that paperwork down in the basement of the courthouse looking for probates, and then the addresses and things like that, and then trying to find the people who are getting the property because it says in the documentation who's gets what. Okay. So you can search those people out, look them up, and give them a call, see if they're going to keep it. Now you got to be real sensitive with this, okay? Because now in today's world of electronics, can't even say it, digitization, bleh, um, everything comes quick, okay? So when you call on a probate or inherited property, be cautious how you talk because somebody has died, all right, and they left them the property. So that's a sensitive, they just died last week and you're calling them. I don't know if I do that. Okay, give it a little time, but reach out to them and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, so sorry for your loss. Mabel passed, and I noticed, you got the property, and you have any plans with it? Are you going to live in it? Are you going to keep it or fix it up or whatever? And just be nice, and they'll tell you if they're one of those people that want to sell it. I just want to get the money, go." Okay. Or some of them say, yeah, I just want to go through it and get some knickknacks and different things that she had, and then I want to just sell it. You're going to get that. Okay. And some people, they want to go through the house, grab the photos, grab whatever, anything sentimental, and all the old furniture, all the tables, the silverware, the old chipped cups, and everything's still there. Okay. They don't want to deal with it. Okay. Not at all. They just say, I want to get my stuff. I'll sell it as is. I don't want to do anything to it. Give me a price. And I've done that. So, and then for the estate, a lot of what I did in several of these is they had items that I could donate. Okay. Some of them had basketballs, footballs, athletic type stuff. I took it down and donated to the Boys and Girls Club. Furniture donated to not necessarily Goodwill, but there's other ones out there that take furniture. I forget the name. Old furniture. Sometimes they just chuck it. Sometimes they say, "Oh, this is a really nice piece. We can use this and give this to somebody who's in need." That type of thing. Food, as long as it's not expired, to the pantries. Different things like that. And we got receipts and we brought it back and gave it to them for tax purposes. Okay. Now, are you going to do that? No, probably not. Not, you might do a couple little things because that's your gig. That's what you do. You love the Boys and Girls Club of America, or the church has a pantry and you want to make sure that they're taken care of. Whatever it is you do, okay, you might do that, but you're not going to do it all, most likely. So either the cash buyer that you found and brought to the table is going to go ahead and just trash it once it's done, or there are companies out there that will come and take this stuff for free, and then they'll either sell it and make a few bucks or whatever. But they're out there, and don't ask for anything on that. Just help those people out, get those tax returns, the money for tax returns, and it mitigates some of their inheritance tax. When you die, you still pay taxes. It's not over until it's not over until you're dead. So, and then it's not over. But anyway, those are good lists. Just be sensitive when you talk to them. What else? PropWire, same thing. Probates listed on PropWire. REO supermarket, that does cost money. US leads list is another one, and that's paid. But PropWire is free, and I recommend using free tools when they're available. And then, of course, if you want to skip trace them, you've got the cyber background checks. And I think True People also is free. I've never used it. Like I said, I've been using skip trace programs so much over the years. It's I don't know how many tens of thousands of dollars I've spent. But anyway, so anyway, let's stop there. Oh, God, I wanted to get farther today. So we only covered basically code violation and probate, and then of course the bonus list, what we call reverse wholesaling. But just keep in mind this: when you reach out to wholesalers, they're a different breed. But if you can find them a buyer that gets what they want and you get paid, either way, from them, or like I said, I've got New Paradox in my area that pays 2.7%. We got another one, I forget their name. They pay 2.5% to the agent that brings somebody. We got another one in our area called Simple Quarters, and they actually take the property down and close, and then they relist it on the market with their agent. I think they are agents. Um, the fellow over there, Brett, good guy. I've talked to him several times over the years, but he takes all of his properties down. Sometimes he rehabs them, then puts them fair market, but he always sells them. But you can reach out to these folks. They're in your market, I guarantee you. And great ways to make relationships, build that network. That's the goal. Build that network. Have a good CRM, and you do, KV Core. Learn how to use that, at least at the basic level, and set those people up on drip campaigns, that sort of thing. Whether it's traditional, off-market, distress, whatever. Okay. Well, I've got 9:52 right now, so let's go ahead and stop there for the time. Oh, God. All right, next week we're going to get through all the rest of this and then get into other stuff. Questions? Anything you don't understand?
I feel like the takeaway from everything that I've learned so far from you is that we need to build a network of cash buyers, because the only cash buyers I have right now is express offers. That's it.
Well, then go to your meetups.
Okay.
They usually have them once a month. Okay. Now, if you want to find cash buyers,
yeah.
Okay. Depends on your state and city. Sometimes they're every week. My particular city is Marion County, Indiana, Indianapolis, is every month. Go to the sheriff's sales. Find out what time the sheriff's sale's going on. Guarantee you there's cash buyers standing right there bidding on those properties.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Talk to them. Meet them. See what they're finding out. See what they want. If they're bidding on or foreclosed properties, they've done their due diligence. Okay.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once it goes to sheriff's sale, that's when the deed changes hands. Okay. So you want to get to the homeowner prior to that. But if you can't, then these types of folks buy them. But sometimes it's a little, what the bank quote wants, they're not going to pay. They'll make an offer and the bank doesn't take it, then it just goes back to the bank. And then they'll take it and do something with it. Okay. Well, you want to try to reach these folks. You can do any deal up until the day of the sheriff's sale. That homeowner still owns that property.
Yeah.
Okay. Once the sheriff's sale happens, it's over.
You know what was weird? I talked to my broker yesterday, and I was telling him my idea. Remember what I talked to you about? Like I was trying to find the pre-foreclosures that were slated for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And so I talked to him, and I'm like, I have this woman, like I think she's got like 2 weeks left or something. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time with it. So, but in the future, I'm gonna find one with a little more buffer so that I can actually find a cash buyer and all that. And he was telling me, yeah, if the like I'm only looking for people that have equity in their house because I don't want to do like a short sale situation.
Exactly.
So he was saying, oh well, you have to get approval from the bank that you can sell it before the foreclosure, and I didn't
No,
I didn't
absolutely
understand that.
not. He's
Yeah,
not
and as long
correct.
as the bank gets paid, they don't care where it comes
That's right.
from, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna still chase that avenue because
Until that property is sold at sheriff's sale,
yeah,
that property owner still owns that property and has full and total control.
right. I don't have to even talk to their bank
No,
as long as we can get the price that they owe on it and maybe some extra money. That's all I really care about, me personally.
I can't believe a broker your state broker told you this.
Yeah, I talked because I called them about the express offers thing because I just did the certification for it.
Mhm.
And they said that like so my state has dual agency. So they said that by default, you're a dual agent when you get an iBuyer from the express offers platform because you have to make the contract on their behalf and everything like that. So you can't take a double commission. You can only take one side, which is the sell side.
Now, different states, they see my state allows me to do both sides. Okay.
Oh,
But
yes. Go ahead.
my state allows it, but express offers does not.
Right.
Okay. They
Yeah.
don't express offers solely. You get whatever you negotiate, 2.5, 3, 2, whatever you negotiate,
Yeah.
you get. Okay. That's the deal because the seller is selling it through the express offer platform.
Yeah, they
Okay.
pay a fee, the buyer.
They pay their fee to
Right. Right.
now, let me give you a little inside information
Okay.
about express offers, unless they've changed it recently. The investors who are on that platform, they're on there for free, but they pay like I want to say a $2,400 fee you just went through the training. Did they change that?
I heard that they pay a fee to EXP, the express offer platform,
Yeah,
or that they do that. Yeah.
but they didn't say what the fee was.
No.
Okay.
No.
The last I heard, the fee is $2,400.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they just factor that into their cash price. Okay. That's how they do it. Okay.
Yeah.
And $2,400 to these type of folks don't.
Hey, I have a question.
Let me finish this thought because it's important.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
If in your travels you start working with these investors and they have bona fide purchased and fixed and flipped, okay, 12 properties in the last 24 months, you can sign them up on express offers yourself. And out of that $2,400, every deal you get $800. And it doesn't have to be your deal. It's any deal that they do that you brought to the table. Express offers pays you 1/3 of what that fee
I
is.
think bring them to express offers.
But they have to be verifiable. They have to have a letter stating that they have the credit or they got the funds available. I don't know how much it is. They bought 12 bona fide. You can verify that they've purchased and done whatever with 12 properties in the last 12 months, that sort of thing. There's criteria and you can find out about that. All right. But if you have somebody that fits that criteria and they're still wanting more properties, you can bring them to express offers, sign them up, and you get a piece of that $2,400.
Okay, so how, that's like a whole can of worms right there. So wait, how do you like, bring them to express offers? Like, how do you sign them up on there?
Well, you can get into the you can get into the Revenos and the platform. I forget the
Oh,
lady's
okay.
name. I've got her. And if you get to that point, let me know. All right, I'll give you all the information I have. But the bottom line is you can, if they're an investor, they're bona fide. You can verify it. They got the money available. They have to submit a proof of funds letter. I think it's every 90 days.
Okay.
But you can sign them up on the Express platform for whatever areas that they're looking for. Their buy box, the whole 9 yards, has to be just like it is in Express offers. They have to put it together like that. And then anybody can bring them a deal. And if they do the deal, out of that fee, because you brought them, you get a piece of that $2,400.
Oh, like a referral fee, right?
Right. Yeah. So if they did 10 deals in a year in your area, in this scenario, I don't know what the fees are now, but in this scenario that I remember, you would get $8,000.
8,000?
10 out of 10 deals.
Oh,
800,
wow.
800
Oh,
a
okay,
deal.
okay. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, there's actually an express offers like a Zoom call like this. Well, not a Zoom call, but like in the world
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah.
So I'm thinking about joining that and also talking to them about the dual agency thing because my broker said that I'm not a dual agent. But iBuyer is completely unrepresented. But in the
Correct.
certification, I heard that I have to be a dual agent by default. So I got super.
I don't know about your state. I know technically you are representing that iBuyer because
Yeah,
you're writing the contract.
right. Yeah. And Jersey is
But you're not gonna they are not gonna pay you a commission. They pay their fee to EXP, go on. You're just
yeah.
gonna get your commission from the seller.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna learn about bringing iBuyers because it's people that have never been on the platform before.
Correct.
Like just okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Okay. Brenda, question.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question. You guys were talking about the lady who's in foreclosure. I was just curious as to what was the icebreaker or whatever, because I'm finding people in foreclosure that, you know, I approach or whatever, they're mostly in denial and I guess in the angry phase, not really
Mhm.
thinking about they need to get out of the house.
Follow
So
up, follow up,
so
follow up, follow up.
follow up. Okay. All right.
Because you've got denial, then you've got, you know the stages. I don't need to go through all that. Anyway,
Mhm.
bottom line is when they get the list pens notice that, in their head, oh, I'm gonna get it caught up, or I'm gonna borrow some money from Aunt May. I'll get it under control, blah, 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 blah. Then they get further along, further along, further along. And the next thing you know, you got a sheriff's sale date set.
Right.
At that point, they got to do something, or somebody's going to be after that going to be get out. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it depends on the state. Some states,
Okay.
like for example, in Ohio, they get to stay there 6 months after the sheriff show.
Yeah.
6 months. They cannot be evicted for 6 months. Now, most people go on their way, but there's some
Mhm.
that's hang on to the bitter end. And
Okay.
you know how many evictions I've done over the years? I mean, I don't do them. The sheriff does it, but I have to show
Mhm.
up, and then once they're out, I have to make sure the locks are changed and everything.
Okay. Okay. So just be consistent. I guess be consistent until
Don't
it's
be
actually sold at the sheriff's sale.
don't be a pest. Yes,
Hmm.
that homeowner owns that property until the day of the sheriff's sale. All right.
Okay.
And if that debt is paid prior to the sheriff's sale, all right, it's over. Done. But if it goes through sheriff's sale, once the gavel, as they say, goes, once it's over, and now the bank owns it, and it's done.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
in your state, I'll give you another little nugget that my friend in Michigan is doing. All right. In Michigan, it's very similar. They have 6 months. They can't touch the property for 6 months. They can't evict them. They can't do anything after sheriff's sale. What he has done, and it's going to vary by state. He, everything in his area that happens that's in foreclosure, and they go shoot to sheriff's sale. And he's usually trying to reach out to them beforehand. But if he can't get a hold of them, he still has the addresses. He still drives by periodically to see if they've moved out.
Uh-huh.
Once they've moved out, especially in that window of time, he went to an attorney, drafted some legal documentation, basically giving him the rights. He offers them, hey, look, you're already moved out. Okay. Do me a favor. Obviously, you're gone. You don't care. You gotten everything you want. Sign this piece of paper right here, giving me your rights, signing just to the property. Okay. And I'll pay you $500. And many of them do it. They're already gone. They don't care. It's out. They're done. It's over. Okay. Then he takes that piece of paper, calls the banks, and says, hey, I've taken legal, not title, legal, they gave me their rights. I've taken the rights of Jimmy Joe. And how about cash for keys now? $1,500. He made $26,000 in February. Just doing that. But that's Michigan. 6 months, they can't do anything for 6 months. Once they're out, he gives them $500 cash, signs this piece of paper, goes to the bank, says, give me $1,500. I'll sign everything over to you. Take possession now. He made $1,000.
Okay.
In February, he made, I want to say 26. That's over 25. 26,000 is what he made in February. I just talked to him last week because I asked him about it. Hey, man, you still doing that cash for key thing? He goes, hell yeah, dude. I'm making a buku with it.
Okay.
So anyway, that's just a little fun facts that you can, it depends on your state, depends on how long that period of time, the redemption period. That's what they call it. How long the redemption period is. In my state, there is no redemption period. All right. They foreclose, boom. They give them 21 days. As long as the bank is on their game. Once they get the sheriff's sale done, they file the eviction paperwork right away. And 21 days later, you're gone. Period. I can't do that here. Indiana don't play. I mean, I can tell you right now. So, you might check that out, if that's something you want to look at. Just a little fun facts to know and tell. All right, we are after 10 o'clock, and I do need to get moving. Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you all next week at 7 p.m.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Todd.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Todd.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Guys. Bye, everybody.
Stop recording.